Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. A bit late. I'm very sorry about that. Had some other stuff to take quickly care of. But ultimately today, well, I'm not gonna lie, Arsenal feels like a team that keeps on giving, because all the time there are different news despite it having to be basically international break. Obviously, due to international break, there will be transfer rumors just because there's something to talk about, but overall, it is what it is. So today we're going to talk about some transfer rumors, we're going to talk about the fact can Arsenal actually save this season, and there are some other bits and bobs about expansion of the Emirates Stadium and other stuff like that. So, yeah, what I was about to say. If you're new around here, don't forget to smash thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell, of course, all that good stuff, aiming to get to 400 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. And yeah, if you have some thoughts you want to discuss, leave them down in comments, not in comments, down in the chat. And of course, ultimately, yeah, if you're watching this as a playback, leave all that down in comments below, because definitely today we're gonna talk about some random stuff I didn't expect to see, but ultimately it should be quite fun because there is something very weird going on. So what we're gonna kick things off today is a Gyökeres, ironically enough. Before we get into that, big up coach, big up my guy, big up coach in the chat, big up, welcome. I don't want Raphinha, we cannot buy someone else. Can we not buy someone else, please, like Semenyo? Depends what Arteta wants. I heard Ben White's out. Yeah, that's true. First it was 6 weeks, which every 6 to 8 weeks it was hope that he could be back basically after Christmas. But at the moment, no, next calendar year 2025. But at the moment, the latest rumors are suggesting he could be out to 10 to 12 weeks, which basically means he will be back, well, end of January. So it could get peak if our defenders don't stay into shape, especially if Timber again gets injured, Calafiori doesn't get back to full fitness quickly. We genuinely have a shortage of defenders. Ironically enough, a position where the team arguably is the most solid in. We have spent about 300 plus million on defenders, and that position is in the biggest trouble. As much as our midfield is lacking, our attack is lacking, but that is not as much due to injuries. Our defense is ridiculed with injuries, so it is a bit of a weird one. Gyökeres scored for Sweden 28 goals already in all competitions. Damn, the more he bags, the more he won't be coming to us. Yeah, it could be the case. But ultimately today, latest news regarding Gyökeres is that Chelsea are leading the race to sign Victor Gyökeres from Sporting in 2025. Either that's January or summer, remains to be seen. But obviously there are rumors that Gyökeres is available also in January, but that still would be the big fee, like 85 million or something like that. But in summer, his price drops. Apparently, he has a gentleman's agreement or something in those lines with Sporting that he can go for about 65 million. And if that is true, and his price drops by 20 million into that 65 million region, it puts in the game about extra 10 teams that could sign him. Because for 85, you could say there are about a handful of teams that need him and could sign him. And if his price drops this much, it puts an extra genuinely 5 to 10 teams that could go for him as well. So that is a big issue ultimately. And if Chelsea actually get him, and next season I will have to watch, or next year in general, Palmer passing through balls to Gyökeres and Gusto crossing to Gyökeres, Chilwell crossing to Gyökeres, and with myself knowing that we could have gotten him, I will be hella pissed. I'm not gonna lie, I will be hella pissed. But the thing is, these news, quite a bit of news recently, are coming from Ficajes or something like that. Though they are like very, I would say 30% reliable. They are sometimes putting out stuff just so for the sake of putting it out, it seems like. But obviously there could be some truth to that. Recently, obviously, for Gyökeres, only Arsenal wanted Gyökeres. Only Arsenal wanted Gyökeres, at least in the summer. That was the initial thoughts. But now, in recent times, in the last month, I would say, Gyökeres is linked with Man City if Haaland leaves and doesn't extend his contract. He's been linked with Barcelona as replacement for Lewandowski. Obviously, there's still Arsenal, there's Chelsea, and there are some other few teams. So it was just one team pretty much in summer. But already, before January even has opened up, it's already 4 or 5 teams. And I 100% can guarantee you, if he doesn't leave in January, in summer, it will be about 10 teams. 100% so. it is getting hella ropey. Gyökeres at the moment, in all competitions combined, is putting up Haaland level numbers. Remember when Haaland was at Salzburg and at Borussia Dortmund and he was scoring goals left, right and center and it felt like he was scoring a hat-trick almost every single game? That's what Gyökeres is doing at the moment. Whenever you look at the score sheet, whatever the result is for Sporting, for Sweden, 99.9% chance he will be on there. It's similar like Jonathan David for Lille. When you watch him play, you think, nothing special. He hasn't done much during the game. He doesn't impress you in terms of eye test, but in terms of GA, he almost every single game bags for Lille. And this summer as well, Jonathan David is available for free. Apparently, according to rumors, his reported salary that he wants is 5 million. That comes around to, quick maths, 97,000 a week. Which, to be honest, seems like a very low price. Very, very low price. If anyone would go for him, for that type of caliber striker, if he can transform the goal scoring form specifically from Ligue 1 to any other league. But obviously, since it's Ligue 1, it is very, very interesting because let's be real, Ligue 1 has made quite a bit of players look good. Look how Mbappe is struggling at Real Madrid. There are some reports even from Spain coming up that Mbappe is the reason why the team is actually performing that bad. He has disrupted the balance in attack and disrupted the balance for the team as a whole. And Balogun as well had one good season for Reims. We sold him to Monaco and he has done nothing pretty much at Monaco. Let's be real, he has done almost nothing at Monaco to establish the fact that he actually had a one brilliant season there. So it is what it is, I guess. Pepe also came from Lille, by the way. He was world beater there, but obviously for Arsenal he did pretty much nothing. Although he carried us through Europa League for a certain extent with free kicks and everything. So there definitely are players there, but it all depends if they can adapt to the new league they're gonna go to. So in that regard, Jonathan David is a bit of a 50-50 one. But the fact that Gyökeres at the moment is basically his stocks, in terms of as a football player, are the highest ones you can imagine, it could get very interesting in the transfer window. The issue is it's Arsenal, because they had a chance to get Gyökeres and shut everyone up. And now Arsenal if Arsenal want to sign him, they will face basically competition for almost every single big team in Europe. Let's be real. And on top of that as well, apparently Gyökeres isn't even the number one target for Arsenal. According to some other rumors and reports that are coming out on media, Isak is actually the number one target. And of course, Isak is kind of refusing to sign a contract extension. He's slowly stopping to believe in Newcastle's project in that regard because they also, it looks like if Newcastle cannot get their stuff together, they will miss out on Champions League this year. Even on Europa League, they might miss out. Obviously, there's still lots of games to play, 27 games. And everything, they still have the chance, but at the moment it's not looking great for them as well. So it will be very interesting to see how this goes and how this develops. But ultimately, the striker situation, not just for Arsenal but generally in the market, is very insane, very, very crazy, and very, very confusing as well to some extent. You think we could buy Raphinha? That's the thing. We could buy. Will we buy is the other question, because if you look at things, if we could. In this instance of shoulda, woulda, coulda sentence, we actually can buy almost every single player that is active in football right now. Maybe not your Haalands and Rodris and stuff like that, but ultimately if there are like 5 players that are the best in the world and no team would sell them in their right mind, Arsenal have enough money to sign almost anyone on the planet Earth. The thing is though, will they sign? Because that again depends on Josh, on Stan and KSC. And at the moment, it doesn't look that way, let's be real. Gyökeres at striker would be great for us. He could be good. The thing is, I'm not sure Arteta wants him. For me, at the moment, I'm more convinced that Arteta actually wants Isak than Gyökeres in that regard. Although, our fan base is very split in this. On a certain level, they just want a striker, so it's either Gyökeres or Isak. They don't mind, they don't care as much. But ultimately, when you look at the social media on the videos and streams and stuff like that, you mostly can see that the fan base is very split between Gyökeres and Isak. Ultimately, also, it comes down to the fact that if does Mikel Arteta want him, can he coach a striker? Because we haven't experienced this dynamic as well yet. Because when we had a Golden Boot winning Aubameyang, he made him play left wing back half the time. We had a Lacazette, who we made play him as a 6. what it felt like. And whenever we crossed the ball into the box, none of our strikers were there. Ironically enough, we have the same issue right now. Many times when we put in a cross, our so-called striker in Kai Havertz is also nowhere near being in the box to fight for the cross, whether it's a low cross, whether it's a high cross. At times he's there, but many times he's also not. So it might not just be like a striker issue, it might ultimately be Arteta issue, that he actually doesn't know how to coach one properly. Because even when he was at Man City as an assistant manager, they didn't have an out-and-out striker at that time. They were playing, obviously, to some extent, they were playing Jesus there, although he was playing quite a bit on the wing. They were playing Mahrez as a number 9, KDB was roaming in that number 9 spot, Grealish was in that 9 spot. They had different number 9s, they didn't actually have an out-and-out striker. But as soon as Arteta left, we signed Zinchenko and we signed Jesus. We pretty much funded Man City signing Haaland. And then it's already a completely different story, and the rest is history. This is like insane. His goal today for Sweden in the first 10 minutes of match clinical. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched any of the goals today. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, with Gyökeres, it's very interesting because when you watch him play, it feels like he doesn't need many chances to score. And that's what Arsenal needs at the moment. Because if we can manage to create more chances than not, that he will score. At the same time, I watch him play also in certain games where, well, ultimately it's just one game, I haven't watched too much, but where he had about 5-6 chances to score and he whiffed them all. For what I understand, from what I've seen for Gyökeres, for what I hear about Gyökeres, it genuinely just has been a one-off game. But of course, I should maybe see someone, maybe I should find out what the Sporting Lisbon fans are saying about him. That would be more about a bit more deeper in the terms of Gyökeres, pause. But ultimately, yeah, it could actually work, it might not. What about Locatelli or Fabian Ruiz for midfield? That is the thing. Arsenal were linked with Locatelli about 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it didn't come to fruition. The thing is, there were some rumors about Arsenal interest in Fabian Ruiz, and personally, I wanted Fabian Ruiz over Mikel Merino. 100%. Arteta prefers Merino, and then again, now here we are. The difference with Gyökeres is he played in Yeah, Gyökeres has played in Championship. He knows how to bag goals. He has played again in the tough English football. And you could argue that Championship is arguably the hardest league to play in. Because it's very easy to get in Championship. Well, it's much harder to get out of it. And it's much more competitive because, in my opinion, Championship is the most competitive league in terms of the teams that are competing for promotion. Because ultimately, every single season, if you kind of try, if you look even at the parachute payments other teams get, there are always about 5, 6, 7 teams that are in that top 6 battle consistently to get automatic promotion or just to get a fight for promotion in the playoffs. And then there are about 4 or 5 teams very near that top 6 that if they're given the chance, if they see an opening, they might actually take it. That for me, that's how I see Championship. It's very, very grueling experience. And Osimhen or Isak, I don't want Madueke, genuinely don't. I don't want Tsigankov as well. Tsigankov as a backup for Saka, I'm not sure as well anymore. Last year it was a bit different, this year definitely not. How Galatasaray got Osimhen for such a cut price deal just on loan is actually wild, I'm not gonna lie. I don't rate Isak. What do people... Well, the thing is, Isak's biggest issue, if you ask me, is the injuries. Genuinely, it's the injuries. Besides that, Isak has pretty much the whole package you can want. Obviously, you could wish for more consistent finishing, but for Isak, the way he plays, yeah, there is something there. Genuinely, there is something there that could actually work at Arsenal. And if you ask me, and this will sound very Top Gunner-ish, right? But Isak, low-key, a tiny bit reminds me of Thierry Henry. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him to him. But at the same time, you can see that he has the ability to dribble, to skill past opponents. He can run, he has decent pace on him. He has a decent finesse shot about him. And he actually knows how to score goals. That is something that... very similar to Thierry Henry in that instance. Very similar. I'm not saying he is him, he is as good as him, or I'm just comparing point per point, but there definitely are similarities. And let's be real, in my opinion, comparing him a bit to Thierry Henry is more realistic than some of these fans comparing Havertz to Dennis Bergkamp and Robin van Persie. Now, that for me is absolutely crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Raphinha links, Arteta is... Dude, Arsenal wanted Raphinha when he was still at Leeds, and he chose Barcelona. And now apparently Arteta actually wants him, allegedly, because we don't know. This comes again from Toto Fijaes. There's in Spanish, but it says Arsenal want Raphinha, right? And there's also an article on this. Mikel Arteta pushes Arsenal board to land La Liga star as a result of transfer meeting emerges. And of course, that all claim is about Raphinha. The thing is though, the price on Raphinha is like this. Arsenal reportedly ready to bid 90 million euros to sign Raphinha from Barcelona. It comes from El Nacional. Out of 10, how much do you believe in this rumor? Out of 10, I believe in this rumor about a 1. And solely as well due to the reason we have been linked him before multiple times, and I think there definitely could be something to it. There could be something to it in that regard. So that actually could be kind of nuts if you ask me. But Raphinha at Arsenal, I'm not sure how that would work out. Because for Raphinha to be his best, he needs to play somewhat in transition. He needs space. He needs to have open gaps to run into, to skill against defenders and to dribble past them. And Arsenal at the moment don't play this way whatsoever. Again, this is similar like we yesterday talked about certain wingers and certain players that they would fit in perfectly at Arsenal if we played football like we did in 22-23 season. If we played football like that, Raphinha would be amazing in that instance. But otherwise, at the moment, no. Anyone's better than what we've had since Aubameyang, but we can't just happy with Isak because he's better than Eddie and Havertz, and we need an actual beast up front. True, but ultimately, at the moment, if you basically name strikers that Arsenal could sign and that could work at Arsenal, there is genuinely Gyökeres, Isak, what else was there? Osimhen, and the list kind of ends there, doesn't it? Maybe Watkins, okay, 4 people. We had 5 in Tony, but we didn't sign Tony because Arteta don't like his attitude, according to reports. Take that as you will. But yeah, there are like 4 options that actually would elevate Arsenal's team. At the moment, as much as Arsenal are and where they are, there are 2 different ways to look at this. Arsenal at the moment cannot afford to look at this situation and say, oh, we're gonna sign this guy because he will do. This will do. It's fine. This will do. We cannot afford to do that. If we actually want to be serious, challenge for league, trophies, everything, we need to go in, sign stars, cream of the crop pretty much. That basically raises the level of the team, not just basically solidifies Arsenal's level at certain position. We need someone that raises the bar every single time we sign someone. We need competition, we need improvements. We cannot just say, oh, this will do, and then we are left with Maroun Chamakh at striker. And with it, and Eddie Nketiah as a backup for Chamakh, basically. We cannot afford to kind of do that, can we? Big up Nathan in the chat, big up. Pogba is a free agent now, get it done. Dude, it's nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Although apparently Pogba is training in Miami, there have been some links with MLS. He might actually go to Inter Miami. There might actually be some truth to that. Obviously, there are some Premier League clubs that are interested in him. Not sure if it's Arsenal, one of those. But if you look overall at this, yeah, he could work at Arsenal. It just depends. It really depends on multiple things. And this is basically, signing Pogba at Arsenal, even as a free agent at the moment, would be hope and fact that high risk, high reward. Because if it clicks, it will click like you cannot imagine. If it doesn't click, kind of screwed, aren't we? So it is what it is, I guess. Also depends on wages, wage structure, bonuses and stuff like that. What about Cancelo? No, Cancelo, bin off, don't want him here. No man, Watkins is better than Isak. different player, different styles. Different player, different styles, in my opinion. Kind of hard to compare Watkins to Isak, in my opinion. Coach getting Pogba on a free is different than wanting him. Ederson plus Pogba. 0 out of 10 for Raphinha. Well, get Raphinha to fund Williams to Barca, just cut the crap and buy. And yeah, true, to be honest. Because Arsenal have this weird, I don't know, desire to kind of sign someone else's wannabe backup dancers and then basically in that instance fund them signing someone else. Genuinely. We are lucky that, for example, Chelsea don't have any more Abramovich and they don't have Mariana as a sporting director, because if we signed Havertz for 65 million, you can bet your sweet cookie that they would go out and sign Gyökeres instantly. You can genuinely bet your ass on it. Bet your mortgage, house and everything on it. They were actually moving serious. Luckily, they have sort of a clowns for owners, so it kind of went past them. Yeah, coach also doesn't want Cancelo. Nathan also doesn't want Cancelo. To a certain level, yeah, beggars can be choosers. Raphinha 20 games, 25 GA, and then people tell me Martinelli has good output. Yeah, true. But again, look how Flick is playing football. That is the thing. He's playing football that caters to Raphinha as a T. Because last year, Raphinha was nowhere near this level under Xavi, and he still had some output, not the best, but he had some output, and there were Barcelona fans that were screaming that he's not good enough and they should sell him. But now under Flick, the way Flick is coaching the team, the way he makes them play football, it's a completely different story. Now they love him, they want to keep him. He is fantastic in that regard. The thing is, for Barcelona to sign anyone, it will be the same story every single transfer window for the next few years, it feels like, that they will have to sell to sign. Mostly because they have the debt, they have to basically open up wage spots because they have put most of their players on insanely enormous wages. And allegedly, there are reports that Barcelona agreed not to sell Frankie de Jong last summer, with the fact that next summer he's gonna leave 100%. The big question for me is, who is gonna pay his 700 grand a week wages? Because if they manage to get him off the books, it will open a whole new world for Barcelona. Because genuinely, De Jong is getting 700-800 grand a week. Like, that is actually next level insaneness. Waiting for the Pogba PR videos saying you about to see the best of me, like Sterling the media T drop. The thing is, I have more belief that Pogba can improve and go to level he used to be than Raheem Sterling. Because Raheem Sterling is genuinely out there. No, I'm not saying De Jong to Arsenal. Just listen to me. Barcelona have agreement with De Jong that he must leave in 2025 summer. The question is, if they make him leave, right, it will open a whole new world for Barcelona, because that will take insane amount of wages off. The big question is, who is gonna take him? Who is gonna take him for 700 grand a week? That for me is the big question. Pogba, Odegaard, Zubimendi, great midfield for us. Pogba, Odegaard, Zubimendi. The thing is, for me, for Pogba to be a starter, it's not it. At the moment, the way Pogba hasn't played in years, and he hasn't trained properly, and he hasn't had the fitness and everything, it will take him about 3-4 months to get into gear. And for Arsenal, we don't have time for that. If Arsenal even signed Pogba, we need a proper number 8 that he actually has to fight with, and everything. Raphinha thrived under Bielsa too at Leeds. No coincidence. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you play high pressure, open gaps, very fast paced football, which very like Arsenal played 2 years ago in 22-23 season. If we played that football, we actually wouldn't be speaking about Raphinha potentially. Because Martinelli would be still banging goals. Because for me, the biggest thing is, there is a player in Martinelli. We saw that in 22-23 season. Yes, you can put something on him. You can put 50% on him, that since then, he basically has fallen off a cliff. At the same time, you kind of have to look at how we are playing since then. We basically are not playing anywhere near to help Martinelli. We have genuinely stopped his progress. So I think since Arteta changed his tactic to control the ball, everyone can park the bus against us and there is no room and chances for Martinelli, for example, to express himself, it has damaged his confidence to such a level that he doesn't believe in himself anymore at times when he's taking some shots. You can feel that there is some doubt in himself. He can say he doesn't have anything, but when he plays, you can see that. Because we saw it against Liverpool as well, that he was afraid of Konate. He could get past Trent with no problem. As soon as Konate came up against him, he shat his pants and ran the other direction. Instantly. Stopped, passed it backwards, or Konate just said, there you go, little bro. Have a rest, I will take the ball from you. That for me is a big no. That for me is the big thing. I think there is partial fault for Martinelli's drop off on himself, but there's also a big part on Arteta, the way he has switched the tactics and changed it. Now that certain players that were thriving under those tactics now have fallen off a cliff, they are doubting themselves, and fans are even doubting them at the moment, and they want those players out. So there is a big thing. It's not a coincidence that, for example, Klopp really would like to have Martinelli at his team, because the way Klopp plays, Martinelli would fit to a T. The way we played 2.5 years ago, Martinelli fit to a T. Last 2 seasons, it just doesn't fit the style, and that for me is the biggest issue. Because we got rid of Pepe. If we played Pepe in that system we played in 22-23 season, you would see different type of Pepe than you saw when he was just there. Definitely 100% different Pepe for me. Like, obviously it's again on Pepe that he didn't fight for his spot. At the same time, I guess it is what it is. Martinelli should just played as a number 9 striker on the last defender. He doesn't pick his head up on the wing, so play him where he can be selfish and head down. Yeah, true, that is the case. Unai Emery was coaching him to be a striker, by the way, but at the end of the day, he got sacked and that development stopped. There were rumors that even Mikel Arteta was coaching him to be a striker. Where are all those rumors gone? Because we haven't seen Martinelli as a number 9/striker ever. Pretty much whatsoever. He has played there for Brazil, but under Mikel Arteta, we don't see him there almost whatsoever. De Jong better, exactly. Jesus, Trossard, well, Jesus definitely. De Jong better start learning Arabic and everything. De Jong. No, I'm not saying De Jong at Arsenal. I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking in general. What about Cody Gakpo? He's not getting games at Liverpool. Nah, I don't want. No. I don't want Gakpo at Arsenal. No chance in hell. Although Arteta has this weird fetish and obsession of saving players' careers, so if we sign Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, or someone like that, wouldn't surprise me. I'm not gonna lie, but no chance. For me personally, no. What about Wirtz? I would love to have Wirtz at Arsenal. The thing is, though, Real Madrid are going high on Wirtz apparently. They want Xabi Alonso and Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. See how that goes, because Wirtz would be about 100+ million, and I'm not sure anyone will pay that besides Real Madrid. Maybe PSG, maybe Barcelona to some extent. City can pay that, obviously Chelsea can pay that, Arsenal would pay that, but there should be some circumstances to fall in line, because I'm not sure Kroenkes will sanction another 100+ million signing unless Arteta delivers a trophy to them on some level. I don't think it will be the case again. Obviously, I could be proven wrong. We'll have to wait and see, but at the moment, I don't know what is happening. Jesus is better than Gakpo. Holy crap. Or Darwin Nunez, when we'll sign a player's rival, not digging their mid. Dude, the thing is, I don't want neither of those. Signing Gakpo 60 million, we can get someone better. Signing Nunez about 60-65 million. We can get Gyökeres, we can get Osimhen, we can get, mind you, Raphinha on the screen at the moment. We can get someone better for that price. If you want to go and sign someone, a rival's big players, then go and sign Konate, for example. Go and sign Luis Diaz. Go and sign, I don't know, who else is there? Someone big, not just someone who actually is struggling even in their teams. Like that we need someone who is actually then their best man, in a sense. If we, for example, go to sign someone from Chelsea, yeah, go sign Caicedo. Not just go and sign, I don't know, Madueke. Go and sign Mudryk, which I still hear to this day, today and to these days, I still hear on social media. Some fans would love to have Mudryk. They want our Arteta to sign Mudryk. If that happens, Wirtz, yes. Nunez second. Wirtz genuinely minimum 120 million for Florian Wirtz. 120 minimum. Van de Ven. Yo, imagine the scenes if Arsenal actually signed Van de Ven. Imagine the scenes from Spurs. It would be Sol Campbell 2.0. I'd only take Palmer and Gusto out of all their players. So you wouldn't take Caicedo at Arsenal. Even though 2 seasons ago everyone wanted Caicedo. Well, last season, to be honest, as well. To be honest, I wouldn't mind having Caicedo. A small mini Smurf who basically gets on everyone's nerves. Energetic, has an engine to run whole 90, make tackles, annoy everyone, step on their legs, give them the elbow in their shin and everything. I would love a player like that. We need someone who is basically a bastard on the pitch. Because every time you look at teams who have won something, every single team has had that one bastard who basically pisses off everyone. Who nobody likes but you love to have in your team. Because ultimately for me, if you look at this, Gattuso was one for in Italy. You had Pepe at Real Madrid. Now it's Rudiger for them. They had Diego Costa at Chelsea. Players like that who basically piss everyone off, give them the elbow, do some dark art, like proper dark arts, not these dark arts Arsenal are doing. Do some proper dark arts. Yeah, I would be actually very interested for Arsenal to sign McAllister. 35 million as well. When we signed Havertz for 65, that actually was a steal and a half, I'm not gonna lie. 35 million for McAllister, or 40, something like that. That genuinely was a steal and a half. In other small news, apparently Arsenal are considering increasing the capacity of the Emirates Stadium to 80,000 people. According to people familiar with the matter, discussions are at early stage according to the business. Arsenal spokesperson, we are continually looking at ways to improve our facilities. The thing is though, for Arsenal to pull this off, we can only expand going upwards. We cannot expand sideways due to, well, legal reasons. Let's be real. So we can only expand upwards, and there were talks that if Arsenal expand, it should actually happen backwards, because Arsenal shape, when they have that roof, when there's that basically ellipse oval, they basically means that they will have to raise that to the top and basically make seats beneath them. That's basically what it means. But there could be these talks have been ongoing. The loudest talks about this have been in the last 4 or 5 months, but there have been rumors that for about a year now that Arsenal are potentially Kroenkes are planning to expand Emirates. There have been rumors about that for some time. Meaning less money for players again. Most likely, meaning less money for the players, more money in Kroenkes pockets, given that once they build it, it will be extra, 18,000 people in the stands. 18,000 people in the stands. Like, let's be real. More tickets, more fans, so-called fans, but those will be mostly travelers from across the world and everything, tourists as they call them. Like I'm very hit and miss about that, because for Arsenal, our stadium as well, it is, at the time when we built it, it was phenomenal stadium, genuinely. At the time we built it, it was ahead of its time for about 5 years. At the moment, compared to other Premier League stadiums, the big ones, the real proper ones, it's just bang average. Very, like, bang average at the moment. And but when you go to the USA, just like Nathan is saying, by the way, if you go to the USA and look at their SoFi Stadium, it's actually insane. It's like you're in a spaceship. You have palm trees and you have sand and restaurants and all that crap in there. It's genuine. It's like proper marketing thing for in USA, but in USA they obviously do things a bit differently than they do in Europe, so it actually wouldn't fly. But ultimately, it actually wouldn't be too bad. What about Griezmann? To be honest, Griezmann at Arsenal, I wouldn't mind that. I'm not gonna lie. People are saying Griezmann in 2024 is crazy, but Griezmann overall, he actually is a good player, genuinely proper player. Even at his age. Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann. Still at Atletico Madrid for a year and a half still. At the moment, 3 goals, 4 assists in 13 games. Can play on the wing on both sides. He actually... How old was he? 33? Yeah, 33. He actually is not bad. People just portray him as he's someone poor, someone awful. But ultimately, Griezmann hasn't lost his quality. Like, last year as well, 33 games, 16 goals, 6 assists. Champions League, 10 games, 6 goals, 1 assist. He actually isn't that bad. People just... He actually, for me, Antoine Griezmann, for me personally, as a football fan, is one of my favorite players. For me, Isco Alarcon, if you know Isco, he is also one of my favorite players many times to watch. I fell in love with him when he was playing for Malaga in that 2012 I think it was the team, when they played that semi-final against Borussia Dortmund, which was insane. That Malaga team was stacked and out of this world at the time. And I love Isco. It's just shame he had to go to Real Madrid and kind of ruin himself there. Let's be real. So it is what it is, but Isco ultimately is a baller for me. I absolutely love. Same goes for Griezmann. When he was playing as a right wing for Real Sociedad link there, by the way. When he was at Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, I actually really like Griezmann. Personally, I really like Griezmann. I think he actually could be actually very decent. Personally. Mbappe 13, save him from his Real Madrid nightmare. Dude, don't even. Imagine if we signed Griezmann at Arsenal. Mbappe at Arsenal. The fan base would go actually crazy. Arteta would generally go bald because he couldn't handle him. He would generally rip all of his hair out just because it's Mbappe and he couldn't handle the ego he comes with. Atletico is my Spanish team, I agree. Yeah. Atletico isn't my Spanish team, but in Spain, when I watch La Liga, I really love watching Griezmann. Griezmann for France as well, when he was playing together. Remember the team? When they had Pogba, Kante midfield, Griezmann and Giroud up top and everything. That was just phenomenal to look. Well, to be honest, he would. Because Griezmann, in my opinion, if we sign Griezmann at this given time, right now, if there was a chance, like you click a button and Griezmann is at Arsenal, he would be better than, well, everyone besides Saka. Arguably. Griezmann can play left wing, right wing, and as a number 9. He technically would be better. Let's be real. Can he handle Premier League? Obviously, we'll never know. For me personally. But that is what it is, I guess. He's like Dries Mertens always. Yeah, Dries Mertens as well. Still balling out. Was balling out for Napoli. Balling out for Galatasaray. He has actually... Dries Mertens has actually fantastic partnership with Osimhen. That was fantastic. Although when he was playing in Europa League against ZFS, he didn't do that good. So it is what it is. Well, 6 years ago, that would be an... Arsenal don't spend 6 years ago. Tchouaméni at Arsenal, given the reports, recent ones, that he's unsettled, lack of game time and everything. Could be forced to play center back again due to the injuries Real Madrid are facing. That actually wouldn't be bad. As a proper number... Oh, dude, he's a number 6 though, isn't he? Which means Rice will stay in 8. That is a bit an iffy one. But Tchouaméni, yeah. But apparently Liverpool are very interested in Tchouaméni. I don't know if it's gonna come to fruition or not, if it's gonna come to life or not. But apparently Liverpool are quite interested in Tchouaméni. And in January, by the way. Not in summer. The thing is though, Liverpool actually have done some of their best business in January, haven't they? They signed Van Dijk, Luis Diaz. They have signed some proper players in January, haven't they? Haven't they? So, wait. Liverpool January signings. Looking back at past January signings, I would hope that there are some best ones. So these recent ones, they signed Van Dijk. They have signed Grujic, then Sturridge, Coutinho, Luis Suarez. They actually have done some proper business in January. Liverpool know how to do these things in January. That's a proper window, signing Suarez. That's a proper window. Arsenal, meanwhile, signed Kivior. Did you see the clip of Enrique coaching Mbappe? Oh no, I haven't seen Luis Enrique coaching Mbappe. But Luis Enrique is a no-nonsense coach, by the way. People may say, oh, he's Spanish and all that crap and he can't control anyone. He actually can. If he doesn't like something, he's gonna call it out, and you're gonna either you swallow your pride and move on, or you're gonna get kicked in the nuts basically by him. That is the thing. Yeah, we should sign Chouameni, Ruiz, or Gyökeres or Gnabry for. Yeah, you see, this is again, you say all these things, but you basically are playing again career mode here, because we should, and everyone knows what we should. We should sign a striker, we should sign a number 8 proper one, a backup for Saka, maybe or for Odegaard, maybe a better left winger. We should sign them. Yeah, we all know that. Will we sign them? No belief in that whatsoever, let's be real, because we know how Arsenal operate in these transfer windows. Especially in January. Because January transfer window, overall for Arsenal, is basically like going to the Palm Beach during vacation at work. You do nothing. That's basically what that is for Arsenal. Because the best signing Arsenal have made in recent years, in January, is Aubameyang. But that again, it was only due to the sole reason Alexis moved in a swap deal for Mkhitaryan to United, arguably the worst swap deal in the history of football. And basically everyone, Wenger's hand was forced to actually sign someone. Ultimately, but then we go to transfer windows. There was a transfer window when we didn't sign anyone. We have signed Kivior, we have signed Jorginho, we have signed players like that. Even in summer, there has been windows when we only signed Petr Cech. Only player, no outfield players. Like, it's actually quite embarrassing in that regard. Will the club blame not doing January business on Edu? No, allegedly they cannot, because I'm not sure you were here yesterday when we were discussing this, but there were reports that Edu had already prepared plan for January. He was leaving his notepad in Eto in his place in January, and they will follow that plan. So technically there should be plan in place, according to rumors and reports. The reports were saying there is a plan, they will live by it, they will go by it, we'll see what's gonna happen. Only thing is that instead of Edu, it will be Eto doing all the work. Let's see what he does, let's see what he cooks. Not on barbecue, hopefully, by the way. You're talking facts, but Fabian Ruiz and Gyökeres would... Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted Fabian Ruiz in summer instead of Merino. That didn't happen. But at the moment, signing, for example, Gyökeres in January would be actually quite fantastic. That is the big thing. Sign in January. January is the transfer window where, arguably, if you are near the top of the table or at the top of the table, you either solidify your position or you screw your season. Because after January transfer window, you have all the major competitions and all the main battles coming for the title in Premier League, in Champions League, in the Cups. If you are in all of those, they're still coming, by the way. So in January transfer window is your last chance to improve the areas where you think you are not deep enough, or you have injuries in. Or ultimately, if you have done nothing in the summer, to basically just sign some players to actually raise the level of the team. That is January for me personally. People say, oh, January is a very hard window, but let's be real. In January, you have to pay the premium price because it's mid-season, nobody wants to see their best players go. In summer, you again have to pay the premium price because it's summer. Everyone wants certain players. Everyone wants to move, everyone wants to improve, and then there are bidding wars and all that stuff. So it doesn't matter what window you are in, you will have to pay over the top either way. So I guess it is what it is. To be honest, I personally believe Arsenal still has a chance to save the season. Yes, it's only 0.1% at the moment because based on performances and the squad we have, I have no trust whatsoever that they will do it. But if we can stay close, for example, to the top of the table, if we can actually get through in Champions League properly, and if we can do properly in the Cups before the January transfer window, and we have a chance to go into this window, if we do the proper business we need to do, we have a chance to do something this season still. The thing is, proof is in the pudding. And based on the last, history pretty much of Arsenal in January transfer windows, that's why it's only 0.1%. Because there is a possibility, but reality is a whole different dynamic in this situation. And reality over the years have taught us complete opposite from what we should be expecting. So it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. The thing is, no matter who we sign, we will we will still suck. Jokers will be asked to link up play and to defend them. Exactly, that's the thing. Unless Arteta changes the tactics, signs the players for the tactics and everything, we're screwed. Because I still believe that Arteta should change the tactics. I'm not saying completely do it, but switch them like he did basically. Go from this all stupid control, park the bus type of football to actually attack, to create, to move. Because half the time when you watch Arsenal play, we are standing still like we have been pretty much cemented into the ground. How about you move, overlap, underlap, overcut, undercut, run between the lines, give and go, triangles, all that stuff, switch wings. Do all the things you at times you tend to do, but do them consistently. Then sign the proper players. Elevate your tactics to a level where you basically highlight your players' strengths and mask their weaknesses by highlighting other players' strengths. Do all that, because at the moment, Arteta has done the straight opposite. He has masked our players' strengths partially and elevated their weaknesses at the same time. And that's why we cannot do anything this season, pretty much. That's why we look toothless in the attack. We struggle against every single goddamn team. And we only click on random occasions when it's a full moon, what it feels like. I'm still in disbelief. How can Arteta say he's under... Exactly! That is the thing. Arteta says himself, no, I don't feel the pressure or anything. He comes out in interviews say, Kroenkes are the best ownership he has ever seen. Well, that technically should be a lie. Because if you say that Kroenkes are the best ownership you have seen, what did you see at Man City then? You were at Man City. You saw how they operate, what they do to their club, how much money they put in, what players you sign, and how much did they win. Are Kroenkes better? Who you are trying to trick? We are not 3-year-olds who you can dangle a lollipop in front of our faces and we will be happy. If you have your eyes opened, that's actually a disgrace of a saying what he has said. Kroenkes are the best ownership he has seen. They wanna win. They trust him and everything. Like, that's basically what Wenger was saying when he got the pretty much full control of the club like Arteta pretty much has now, and a few years later he got sacked. So ultimately, what we are doing here, he's gonna say the same things and we're gonna wait till Arteta gets sacked, right? Or what is happening here? Because this has the same indications what Wenger had, and we saw how that went. And Arteta already in interviews are saying the same dumb shit what Erik ten Hag used to say months before he got sacked. So what is happening? We need to really sack Arteta and get experienced coach who can lead the team, make good transfers. Yeah, that's the thing. We have been taken by Mikel Arteta to this level. Let's be real. To this level, we need a manager who gets us to this level. Yeah, no, I know it's a small margin, but that's all that's all that pretty much has left between us and winning something. Winning titles, winning trophies. And Arteta has not shown that he can get it over the line. Because every single time his name has been called upon to get it over the line, he has failed. And it has been already like 5-6 times in 5 years now. And there is no evidence that it will change. How can you ask a player who was bang average as a player and basically as a manager hasn't won anything, won FA Cup, okay, cool, but hasn't won properly, to install winning mentality and drag us over the line as a leader pretty much, when he doesn't know how to do it. He hasn't been there consistently. On top of that, if he doesn't learn from the mistakes he's making, because he makes the same mistakes every single game pretty much, every single season, every single competition, and nothing changes. Like, what is happening here? Tact is what we need, have good enough. That's the thing. We have good enough players. We saw it last year, 2 years ago. The thing is, what we need is some reinforcements from the bench, maybe some 1 or 2 improvements in the starting 11, and proper tactics to get us over the line. But at the moment, we have none of that. Our starting 11 is technically good enough to win the league. Our bench, no. Our manager, I'm sorry, but no. What we need to do is get a better bench and get a new manager, a better manager, a winning manager. That's what we need. Because starting 11 actually is good enough to do it. The thing is, we don't have anyone to back it up with. That is the thing. Yeah. Danny Welbeck is firing. Danny Welbeck, actually, in this Arsenal team, would be fantastic. Let's be real. Especially if we play games where we cross the ball about 46 to 50 times. He actually would be winning the headers there. Let's be real. He actually would be banging headers left, right, and center. Welbeck, actually, the best strike. If you think about this, realistically, let's be honest. In the last, let's just say 8 years, best strikers at Arsenal: Aubameyang, Lacazette, Giroud, and Welbeck. That's it. If you kind of put it that way, that is also the case. Welbeck actually wasn't bad. Genuinely wasn't bad. And in this Arsenal team, he actually would be cooking. Let's be real as well. Like, I miss our cutback. Yeah, lots of things we miss, to be honest. On top of all of that, we miss trophies. Araya has been player of the year, and that's exactly our goalkeeper, pretty much. Arguably, well, together with who else is there? You could say arguably, yeah, Raya. Raya, to be honest, technically is number one candidate at the moment to be player of the season for Arsenal. Because without Raya, you genuinely could make strong argument that in the league we should be about 10th, and in Champions League we should have lost to, obviously, to Atalanta. And to be honest, if I come to think of it, if Raya wasn't in goal for Arsenal this season, we wouldn't be even 10th, we would be about 15th, 16th. Solely on the fact that we would have lost to Aston Villa, to Brighton, even especially with the fact that we couldn't finish our dinner. More likely than not, actually, it would have been a draw against Wolves as well, because at the time it was 1-0 on the stroke of half-time. Raya made a phenomenal save. So definitely you can make an argument that without David Raya this season, he has saved our bacon big time. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are. A strong argument for that, to be honest. Yeah, if you look at GA, maybe saves percentages and crap like that won't back it. But if you use the eye test and you'll watch the games back, that is the case, to be honest. Let's be real. We're gonna finish 7th and sack Arteta might have to go bad. Yeah, that's the thing. I genuinely believe that the only way Arteta goes is if we finish outside of top 4. Now, if we keep playing like this, we actually will do it. Let's be real. Because Chelsea are looking decent, I'm not gonna lie. They have about 3 squads they can put out, rotate every single game. If Aston Villa can keep it up, if Amorim gets it right with Manchester United, it again could be a very long time. So we'll have to wait and see. But ultimately, at the moment, it's not looking too bright, is it? We need our defenders to close down on attackers and push forward and make space for midfielders and our forwards to be dangerous in the attack and hard to stop on the ball. That's the thing. Our defenders need to close down attackers. But when you look how our especially wing backs, defend, when the opposing winger is coming towards us, they're backing up. No tackle, no urgency. And by the time they are maybe decide to make a tackle, they have already in our own box. And then if you make the tackle wrong, it's a penalty instantly. So there's something in that line. And for example, Ben White, right? Whenever you see Ben White getting cooked by a winger, I would say 7 out of 10 times is the same goddamn move. Genuinely, it's the same goddamn move. Go left, run down the wing, you stop the ball, and you cut inside very sharply. And 7 out of 10 times, Ben White is cooked then. 7 out of 10 times. He never puts a tackle in properly. Imagine the CEO of a business giving their intern a top. Exactly. Genuinely, it's like me going to a new job. I work there for a few months, and they instantly promote to the manager. Instantly, from an intern to a manager. Instantly, in few weeks. Like, what business operates like that? Only coach I'll be happy with are Gasperini, Ancelotti, or Zidane. Maybe Nagelsmann. Ancelotti, yeah. Zidane, yeah, but he won't come. Kinda. Pause. Nagelsmann, maybe. I would take Inzaghi. Wouldn't mind taking the chance on Simeone as well. If it doesn't work, just sack him and get another one. Just do something. Show ambition. That's the biggest thing. We don't even show ambition in these things. That's also one of the biggest flaws with Kroenkes. They're happy with what they have. No ambition, no development, no movement forward. Who else is there? If I think of, like, quickly think about this, who else is there? On top of my head, actually, I kind of like that. Maybe Mancini, but that's also is. Oh yeah, not gonna lie, yeah. Having said everything, football changes. Quick 3-game winning streak in the first step to pull ourselves out of the low. That's the thing. You say 3-game winning streak, but that instantly means that Liverpool need to lose 3 games on a bounce. City needs to lose 2 games on a bounce. That is what that requires. For Arsenal to be on top of the league, it's a consistent 4-game swing. Arsenal need to win 3, draw 1, and Liverpool need to lose all 4. That's what it takes for Arsenal to be at the moment on top of the table. That's what they require. That is a very big task to ask. However, if you look to the other side of the spectrum, Arsenal need to lose and a draw while United win 2 and they are ahead of us. That's a 2-game swing. So technically we are closer to going behind United than we are catching Liverpool at the moment. And United are 13th, by the way. That's how wild it is, in a way. If you kind of count that way. We need to separate ourselves from the pack, and in terms of Chelsea, United, Spurs, Villa, Brighton, then focus on Liverpool and City. We need... For me, the biggest issue is I'm not worried about the big teams. You know, like Villa, Liverpool, City, United. Well, not United, but you get what I mean. Chelsea, Spurs, and teams like that. Because we always turn up against those teams. For me, the biggest PTSD is against the other teams. Your Brightons, Bournemouths, Evertons. Who else is there? Like stupidly random ones this season. Southampton, by the way. Fulham. Nottingham Forest this season. Those are the teams I'm more scared of than the big ones. Because the big teams don't show any respect for Arsenal, and we actually can play some sort of a football against them. We can actually have some moves to attack. As soon as we come against these so-called smaller teams, who maybe at the instant, not maybe instantly, but they test the waters with parking the bus in a way against us and hitting us on a counter. And they start to gain confidence when they see that we cannot create against that. And they kind of try counter us, they create a chance or two. They see that we are vulnerable against them in this level. We are instantly screwed. Those games for me are bigger issue than that. Because last year, remember, one of the biggest PR things, Arsenal haven't lost against top 6 side for how long? But we still didn't win the league. We lost to West Ham, we lost to Fulham, we drew against Fulham, we lost to Villa, we lost to smaller teams, we drew against the smaller teams. For Arsenal, it's been basically an issue, an illness for years. When against the bigger teams, we always turn up no matter what. The issue is the small teams, because they always do us over one way or another. For me personally. No, Thomas Frank at Arsenal. No Thomas Frank at Arsenal, personally. Tuchel for manager. No. Although, no thanks. We shouldn't worry about what City and Liverpool do. I'm not saying we will overtaking them now, but I'm saying win a 3 in a row and build. That's the thing. We shouldn't be looking against anything at the moment. We should be just playing what's in front of us and try to basically get 3 points in every single game. And then when it's end of the year and January comes, then reassess depending on who we need to sign. Because by then we will have played 9 19 games in the Premier League, like half the season. It will basically give us a proper inkling where we stand or what is what, like 20 games maybe in Premier League. We will know what we could expect long term by the end of the season. And if then we don't, and if it pretty much is it's guaranteed that we're not gonna get, we cannot win. Well, let's just say we are about 12 points behind Liverpool, right? That's a 5-game swing minimum, or we are 15 even. If we lose 2, they win 2, then it's a 15-point gap and it's a 6-game swing. Let's be real. It's not gonna happen, right? Like, then we can reassess, sign players and something, maybe throw this competition in the dumps, focus on top 4 and focus more on the Cups and Champions League and stuff like that. But we have to take this day by day at the moment. There's nothing else we can do. We have to basically focus on the next games what we have. We have the Southamptons, Nottingham Forest, Southampton and teams like that. We need to focus on those at the moment. We cannot do anything else. Sure, Brentford is Denmark national team, and Tom Frank is Brentford is Denmark national team, just like what's its face. Wolves are Portuguese national team. Like, yeah. Well, Klopp has said himself he's never gonna manage any other team in Premier League. Liverpool is one and only. Frank turned the championship team into a solid team with... Yeah, that's true. Like, well, minimal funds. We cannot say no funds with minimal funds. Like, for example, at the moment, if I look at that Brentford squad, I would... Brentford squad. I would have loved to have Tony. I would have loved to have Buemo. There's another one that... One of the midfielders that's very decent. I would also like to take. Not gonna lie. Yeah, plus he's head of Red Bull as well. We need to focus on beating these smaller teams and get... Yeah, that's the thing. 5 years in charge. 2 years basically finishing nowhere. 1 year in 5th. 2 years in 2nd. And basically the biggest issue for the last 2.5 years, arguably for Arsenal, have been beating mid-low blocks. Park the bus and all that stuff. And how in this all this time, in more than 700 days, you haven't figured the damn out how to beat that, that's not anymore on the players whatsoever. That's on manager alone. And on top of that, if you see that this manager cannot do this consistently, and you can see that it's happening every single game, then it's all on the ownership. Because you should have your eyes wide open and see that he's not good enough. He cannot do his job. He makes the same mistakes, we have the same issues, and on certain level nothing has changed since Wenger days. And he's not sacked yet. That's again now on the ownership, not just anyone else. Big up from South Africa. You are from Republic of South Africa, or you are from like Lesotho, Eswatini or something like that? Like, seriously talking. And the last one for today, coming from Daily Cannon. La Liga Director of Football, happy with the Arsenal interest. Now I'm gonna fix this in a second, give me a sec. Here we go, I'm gonna fix this, don't worry. Links, do it like this, and do it like that, then cut it right here, and we are golden. Here we are. Following to tenuous links last week with Basque outlet and Noticias de Guipu, I'm not pronouncing that, report that Arsenal are indeed very interested in acquiring Real Sociedad's director of football Roberto Olabe as a replacement for the departing Edu Gaspar. So Olabe, Basque region, Arteta connection, Sociedad and all that stuff. The same outlet adds that Olabe initially intended to take a break and enjoy more time with his family at the end of the season, and this was his reasoning for deciding to end the association with Real Sociedad. Oh, come on. You really expect... Although, could be believable, maybe not. But Olabe is reportedly very happy with Arsenal's proposal, and the timing of Edu's departure makes his arrival a very realistic option. Well, no shit, Sherlock. All the frauds! All the frauds! All the frauds! Hell, the 3 frauds at Arsenal. The man himself has stayed vague on his plans for the future, suggesting that no decisions have been made and he's committed to getting through one last campaign with his current club first. I understood that it was important to continue working for this season and with the project. Oh, another one. Here we go. The project. All the frauds, exactly, all of them. What else? Afterwards, I need to listen to conversations, reconnect, blah blah blah. Olabe was the man who signed Mikel Arteta for Sociedad during his playing days, so connection began 20 years ago. The director of football has done business with Arsenal on a number of occasions, including Nacho Monreal, arguably the most underrated left back in Arsenal's history. I'm not gonna lie, arguably. Because Arsenal have had some very good left backs. Let's be like Winterburn, if I'm not mistaken, one. Ashley Cole. And players like that. But I think Nacho Monreal is one of those that has been highly underrated. Kieran Tierney and Mikel Merino. Olabe also played a key role in Martin Odegaard's career after loaning him from Real Madrid. Having bought and sold the likes of Isaac and David Silva as well, Olabe has a good reputation in football. He's helped Real Sociedad consistently compete for European football in recent years, now at 5 consecutive seasons in European competition. From Arsenal's point of view, there is still plenty of time to make decision. Edu is serving 6 months notice. Jason Aito, the Edu notepad, is filling on his interim basis, and Olabe isn't available until next June. So again, there are more questions than answers with this. But it looks like it could be again. I don't want to say job for the boys in this regard, but there's definitely will be some stuff that's going on through connections, if that makes any sense in any way, shape, or form, of course. So we'll have to wait and see. We're always struggling against smaller teams and not scoring goals, and against them and struggling to score a goal, we need to exactly. That is one of the biggest things. Come to think of it, this guy becomes sporting director. He'll sack Arteta and will sign the Spain coach for months. De La Fuente, you mean? Or what? You mean De La Fuente? I don't think he's gonna sack Arteta. They are the best pals, aren't they? Although in that instance wouldn't be too bad, would it? Our performance against smaller teams is just disgraceful. We can't win or do anything like this. How can we win trophies if we can't beat these teams? Exactly. That is the thing. If you watched 2 years ago when we were 8 points clear, we lost to Southampton and drew against Southampton, if I'm not mistaken, or drew both times against Southampton. Last year it was Fulham. Last year it wasn't just Fulham, by the way, it was West Ham, it was, who else was there? 2 years ago it was Everton. There's always like 2-3 small teams that completely do us over. And in those games we lose about 6 to 10 points overall. And if you kind of do this what if situation scenarios, if we get those 6 to 10 points from those games, yeah? 2 seasons ago we win the title, we lost it by 5. Last season we lost it by 2. If we win against Fulham once, we win the league. Like, what are we doing here? And even then we go into summer window when there's basically the do or die transfer window pretty much for Arsenal. This should be the transfer window most important in Arsenal's history pretty much. And then we sign these bums. Like, something is not adding up. Who wins the wooden spoon as Arsenal's worst player? Oh, dude. Let's wait a bit. Let's see a bit. At the moment, I don't even know. Sterling pretty much, isn't it? But he doesn't play much. Del Fuente brings Zubimendi and Villan. Oh, definitely. He will bring definitely some Spanish stuff in here. Definitely a bit more. I wouldn't mind him bringing in, for example, Fabian Ruiz and Nico Williams, for example. Bring in Fabian Ruiz, play Rice, Ruiz, and Odegaard, for example, then Nico Williams, Saka. We need a striker, though. We cannot live without a striker. That is something we need more than anything at the moment as well. That, for me, is a big, big issue. We need a striker desperately at Arsenal. And that's the biggest thing. If you kind of look at Arsenal's season so far, it's been poor, very poor to say the least. But it's still salvageable if Arsenal actually turn up. If Arteta stops being stubborn and egocentrical maniac, terror football from terror Arteta finishes, and we actually start to play some attacking football, there is some possibilities. Let's be real. If we manage, for example, go into January transfer window, let's just say 6 points behind Liverpool if they're still first, and like say 2-3 points behind City. Or if we go just some bit maybe less or more points behind them, and we actually decide to make the proper signings we actually need, there is still possibilities. But again, that's for me is like 0.1% chance. For me, most realistic option is till January nothing will change. We will by Christmas we will be out of title race, and it will be a massive struggle in the top 4 race. Most likely like that, it won't change anything. In January we will sign someone on loan, and we will sign some youngster for the future project. And yeah, the rest of the season will be what it is, I guess. I think that could be the case. Maybe we'll put in bids for some players, so in the PR media it looks like, oh look, Arsenal tried, we tried, and all that stuff. But ultimately I don't think there will be much happening. Like, I have lost faith in January transfer window with Arsenal because I haven't seen them do anything. So that is a bit different for me personally. They have hurt me enough times that I'm broken to many pieces in this on those terms. So I have no trust whatsoever. This is just disgraceful when we want to win trophies, but we keep getting babied by the small teams. We get bodied by the small teams, but are fighting for it can't win trophies if we can't push these. Exactly. We should go to any other small team, brush them aside, and in transfer window go, we want your best player. We go to Crystal Palace, we get Olise, we get Eze, Margehi, we want them, we get him. But we never do that, do we? We go to Crystal Palace, they say, oh, we want 60 million. Arsenal offer 40, they deny it. Oh, we're gonna offer you 42 and a bag of crisps. Okay, 42 doesn't work, goodbye. And we signed the plan C or plan D, which is 3 times worse, and then everything. Exactly. Potentially, never know, but he's a City player, wasn't he? So it's a bit different. I think if we win the next 3 games, we can win the league. Well, for me, it all depends. Massively depends on the other outcomes. Because if we win the next 3 games, and if Liverpool win their next 3 games, and City win their next 3 games, it means nothing in terms of league, but it means that Arsenal have hit some sort of form. The only thing that is playing in our favor is the schedule. Because if you look at the schedule for Arsenal have somewhat easy schedule. Because we have to Arsenal, if we can just do it this way, matches, yeah, more matches. Let's this. Arsenal have to play, right? After international break. Forest at home, well, Sporting away. Okay, West Ham away, United at home, Fulham away, Everton at home, Palace away, Ipswich at home. So if we win all these games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these 7 games, there is a possibility. Because compared to Liverpool and compared to City, Arsenal have the easiest schedule in Premier League till the end of this calendar year. So there is a possibility. The thing is, I have very big doubts much will change. That for me is the big thing. If we don't start beating these small teams, we won't be winning anything, or even being in the race for the league, we're not winning. True, because at the moment, if we keep playing like this, we will be in a massive struggle in a top 4 race, yet alone title race. So it could go very haywire at some level. Odegaard is back. Rice is injured. White is out till mid-January. Bukayo Saka is injured. Calafiori is a 50-50 back after international break. Who knows how he will look. We don't have a striker. Arteta is still at the wheel. It doesn't look like we have a plan. But Odegaard is back. Yeah, right. More hair flicks than goals. Genuinely, Odegaard has done more hair flicks this season than we have scored goals. It means that I guess it is what it is in that regard. But yeah, I think on that note, we're gonna end it here for today. Not sure whether there will be a stream tomorrow. I'm going out with some friends. Finally, I could get some relaxation, some chill and vibes away from Arsenal, away from work and all that stuff. So I'm I'm gonna be going out. Exactly. Genuinely, if you rely on one player to save your whole season, we are doomed instantly. Because even when he was here, we were awful. Last year, when we mattered the most, he went hiding in every single game. So I'm not having that. Exactly, I'm not having that. We need competition. We need improvements. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not happy that he's back. I'm happy that he's back, but ultimately it won't change much. Let's be in that regard. But yeah, tomorrow might not be a stream. Maybe there will be a video. Depends. Genuinely depends if I manage to get one out, because I'm heading out early in the morning. I will be back genuinely like 4 a.m. during nighttime. So there most likely won't be a video. So that means I'm most likely gonna take a day off tomorrow. But don't worry, of course, on Monday I will be there very, very late in the evening. So for today, that will be it. So take care, subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment down in comments below. I'm gonna try and answer every single comment you have pretty much. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your evening as well. Enjoy some international football, and if there is any still. But yeah, have a nice evening. Take care. Stay safe. I don't even know what to say. Hopefully, maybe, definitely. But yeah, anyways, big up everyone. Take care. Peace out.